Not gonna lie, I feel just slightly cool having 3 dogs trailing behind me, like my entourage. Hi everybody and welcome back. Today I'm taking a request. We're gonna be talking about how to assemble your dog pack as a dog walker. It's a delicate balance. Honestly, it has to do with making all of the dogs happy while also keeping yourself sane in the process. So in this video, I'm gonna be mainly talking about when you're walking the dogs on leash, because I find that when you're picking all the dogs up and then you're going to the dog park, it's a little bit easier. You can put some dogs together that you wouldn't necessarily put together if you were walking on leash. So that's what we're gonna be talking about, on leash walking, but you can totally apply it if you're picking them up and taking them to the dog park as well. So let's get started. With a dog walking license, you can take up to 6 dogs on leash. That's right, 6. That's a lot. That's a crazy amount. And I actually prefer to take less dogs just because I know myself and I'd rather have a good time on a walk rather than just try to make as much money as possible in that hour. So I usually try to take 3 or 4. That's where I'm the happiest and I can give the most of myself to the dogs, but you can totally take as many as you want. That's completely up to you. You want to base the packs based on neighborhood. So you want the dogs to live close to each other, as close as is possible, because you don't want to be spending half of your time going from different location to location picking up all the dogs. You want to spend as much time on the walk as you possibly can with all of the dogs. You also want to try to pick dogs who have similar physical energy. So it doesn't necessarily matter the breed or the different sizes, it's more how physically active they are. So you want to try to get dogs who have the same kind of energy. That way you can cater to everyone all at the same time instead of always just slowing down for one or speeding up for another. You want to try to have a good baseline of them all being in a similar place. Puppies. I love them. Puppies are adorable, but they are horrendous on walks. Like, they are just crazy. So I suggest any dog that is 6 months or under that they do private walks on their own, because they're still learning how to walk on leash. And before they walk in a whole entire group pack where everybody's on leash, they need to know how to walk on leash. So if you do private walks with them, you can kind of get that leash training down pat before they're added to the group and they forget all of that training because they're just so darn excited. In general, you only ever want to have 1 puppy on the group. And when I say puppy, I mean like 1 year and younger. After a year, they're an adult pretty much. So 1 year and under, you only want to have 1 on the group. And trust me on this, because I've had more in the group and it is just mayhem. And that's because puppies, they get so excited about A, being outside, B, being with all these dogs, C, being with you. It's just too overwhelming for them and they forget how to walk on leash and they just try to jump on all the other dogs and play as opposed to walking in a straight line. And the reason that this is bad is, first of all, it tangles the leashes and it makes it very difficult to walk. But also, some of the other dogs, they don't appreciate being jumped on. Like, especially if it's a dog who just wants to walk and pee on everything, they're not happy that there's gonna be a puppy jumping in their face. When it comes to older dogs, you want to either put them on private walks or you want to have them in a smaller pack. And it obviously depends on how old they are and if they have any medical issues going on. And that's just because as dogs get older, as with humans and other animals as well, our bodies start to kind of, we get some aches and pains. Like, it gets a little bit harder to move around. So you don't want to have an older dog with all these younger dogs and then it's trying to keep up and then it's got to recover for a whole week after that walk because it was just too much for them. So you want to try to get an older dog with other older dogs as well, so that they all kind of have that calm vibe and they all can just take their time when they're walking. If a dog is really struggling, then a private walk may be a really good bet for them. Really play it by ear. Like, when it comes to age, it depends on the dog. When you have an anxious or nervous dog, this is a little bit tricky. When you have an anxious dog, you want to really work them into the group slowly. So the worst thing to do with an anxious dog is just to throw them into the pack and expect them to be okay. They're just gonna get more nervous if that happens. So what you wanna do is you actually wanna put them on private walks for a little while, just so they can get used to walking with you and you can kind of assess what exactly makes them nervous when it comes to walks. Then you wanna add 1 calm and chill dog onto the group. So it's the 2 of them. Then slowly you can keep on adding the dogs in, try to make them as calm as possible. With dogs, if something negative happens, the dog is never gonna wanna do that thing ever again. And you want the dog to be really excited and happy to go on walks. walks. You don't want to scare them right off the bat. So you do need to work them in slowly so that they can learn to love these walks. And that's how I pick my packs. Honestly, every single dog is so particular and unique, and it's really going to be up to you at the end of the day to figure out who's going to be good with who. So trust yourself and have faith in your choices. If you have any specific questions about certain breeds going together with other breeds, or about a pack that you specifically are putting together and you just want to know my opinion about it, then you can let me know either in the comment section below, or you can DM me on Instagram, and I would be very, very happy to answer that for you. Thank you for joining us on today's video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out our other social media accounts, and we'll see you in the next video.